It's September. I love the fall time. It's always a great time. There's no doubt about that. Welcome into 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Hope you've enjoyed the last couple weeks of, let's call it frustration with manufacturers and electric vehicles and all this other bullshit. This week I want to talk about something that normally I get really pissed off about, and that's vendors, normally. Because I deal with them so much, so often, and I see so many missteps and nonsense. But recently, I have been on a string of great vendor calls. So do you know what makes up a great vendor call? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, a great vendor call happens when you hear the dealer talking more than the vendor. Okay? 2, when people on the call, dealer, vendor, the dealer's partners who may join, like ourselves, are free to have a discussion about their entire effort. It might not be about the call we're on here. It might semi-relate to the call. Or it might be, hey, while we're talking about this, could we discuss this real quick as a group since we're all here? And the vendor stays quiet. And they let that conversation happen. And it happens organically. That is how you know you're on a good vendor call. And I encourage more vendors to try to have better calls with their clients. Try to have actual calls with your clients. Try to get in past the data, okay, into the actual performance of what they're seeing, what they're trying to move, what they're trying to accomplish. You see, most people take these calls, and I can see it. They've got a checklist. They're like, okay, I did this, I did this, and now we'll go through my 16 PowerPoint slides. Okay, wonderful. We've done that, and we're done. Okay? Do not worry about being in PowerPoint slides. Okay? I use one slide to sum up as much as $100,000 a month spent. One slide. That's it. 3-minute video. Done. Summed up. So someone needs to explain to me why we have to have 1 hour or 45-minute calls with a vendor to discuss last month's results. And you know what else makes great vendor calls? Admitting the vendor didn't have a great month. Okay? Admitting that shit maybe didn't go as one had hoped. And what even makes these calls better is when dealers don't have to bring all this to your attention, Mr. Vendor, so that you can sit there and know exactly what is going on previous. You yourselves know. The dealer didn't find it and bring it to you. You looked, you knew. You were ready to say, you know what? Over here, our bad. This was our bad. This shouldn't have gone this way. We're going to make it better. Not enough people are willing to, as my boy Dave Lemon says, fall on the sword for the greater good, because it always has to be somebody else's fault, right? Always somebody else's fault. And frankly, from where I sit, I get a little tired of it, because it's my job to sit on these calls, and it's my job to, even amongst shitty vendor calls, try and make them good vendor calls. So the next time you sit on a vendor call, think about, was this a good vendor call or was this a bad vendor call? And if you think about good vendor calls, think about what I had said to you: the opportunity to speak as a dealer, the opportunity to actually be listened to, the opportunity to talk with your teammates, the opportunity to talk about more than just what that vendor may be doing in the moment, and more about an entire approach, because it is smart, okay, to give your business out to other people. There are specialists in our industry that are great at paid search, great at SEO, great at social. It is damn near impossible to find one who is great at all. People say, well, I just got to have one, it's just easier. Well, easier isn't better. Ever, really. So sometimes it takes a little bit more effort, and there are vendors who want to work with dealers, not just have another notch on the bedpost, okay? They are there for the relationship. And that is what you should be looking for as dealers today. In the crazy ass world we live in the car business, the one thing you should be looking for are great relationships. So I told you I'd keep it fun. I'd keep it positive. We'd have some smiles, which we did. And yeah, I think if you have any other opinions, I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, please go out and enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope you join me again next week.